This is one of those movies that's good and also downright terrible.
Just incredibly handsome. Bloody hell. You wait to your own voice, don't ya?
It's about time they gave us the tournament this time around, but they sold us via marketing this film was gonna be heavy on Johnny Cage, and it turned out to be more about Kitana than Cage himself. And I thought, what the shit is this?
It's showtime. F that.
And there's also another film they did this as well, and it's called Tron Ares. Sold us on the fact of it being more about Ares, and it turned out it was about Chopstick's girl, who is the head of NCOM. And these people marketing the film know exactly what they're doing. They're just lying to the audience about what the film is really about. So they watched this film and said, oh, Johnny Cage is way more memorable than Kitana is, so let's bump up the marketing for Johnny Cage and hide Kitana in the background. Isn't that amazing? But they hide the fact that it's a girl boss movie.
Whoa! Don't feel comfortable hitting a girl.
Don't worry. You won't.
So the film starts out with Kitana's daddy getting killed by Shao Kahn, and ever since he took over her realm, she wants revenge. Now Earth is under attack by Shao Kahn, and Raiden's team here is heading for Mortal Kombat while trying to get to the Nether Realm, where they must destroy this amulet before Shao Kahn stays immortal and wins the tournament to take over Earth. And I don't know how this Simon McQuoid guy landed the job to direct a video game movie like this with no real track record, but obviously he's got some really good connections regardless. Maybe he went to a Diddy party. The positives to this film, the cinematography is half decent, nothing outstanding, but it's good. The music was pretty exceptional for a Mortal Kombat film. Even though Benjamin Wallfisch composed the last Mortal Kombat film, this soundtrack was definitely an upgrade. I was not expecting that by any means. The fact that this film was about the tournament was actually awesome. That's initially what I thought they'd do with the first one, and then deep dive into more of the Mortal Kombat lore, and it would have made a little more sense, or at least just make it strictly about Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which are clearly the fan favorites. The fight scenes were solid, the fatalities were pretty good. Johnny Cage and Kano stole the show with all the comedy. I do also think Baraka was hilarious as well.
Johnny would definitely die.
And I think personally, if this was more about Johnny Cage and Baraka, that would have been awesome. I could watch a whole film with those two by itself. And plus, Karl Urban is just good, even though he was given some really cringe lines.
Just incredibly handsome.
But then again, it's Mortal Kombat, so I expect cringe 100% of the time. The comedy was solid, it was okay, but I wasn't laughing so hard I couldn't breathe, so that's always a good indication it wasn't like extremely funny. And then giving the bye-bye turn it off to Cole was pretty satisfying. I never really liked his character in the first film, so that was satisfying. And killing off Jax was a bit unexpected, and taking out Liu Kang, but we all know they'll be back. Shao Kahn was also very menacing and thought he was a good villain who just wanted more and more power as he becomes immortal, briefly. But that's kind of where the positives and the negatives start. And holy shit, the entire script was entirely forced and the dialogue was corny as hell, but a lot of times not in a good way.
You wanna know my power? I am Johnny Cage. That.
First off, the story itself is about Kitana more than anybody else and how she wants revenge on Shao Kahn. And that whole ending was retarded as
Do not kneel!
with her speech and them calling her queen, and I was like, what in the fruitcake shit is this? She should have never made that terrible speech. It would have been way better if she just said nothing at all and she just took it in. It would have had way more impact. Instead they made it with that god-awful speech and with the queen, 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 oh my god, queen, oh! And that's how feminized this film is. And it was a girl bossery film in disguise. And it's the fact that she takes out Shao Kahn with pretty well ease, and her daddy couldn't do that shit. Her daddy couldn't take him out. You gotta be kidding me! But this queen can take him out. Okay, that's all I said the entire time. I was like, okay, sure.
That.
And that's what I have a problem with it. And I do like Kitana, but the way they just did it was just really stupid. If her daddy couldn't take him out, do you think she could take him out? Probably not. But then you realize Hollywood loves making them queens always win, and they gotta have the men struggle or even die. And it's being done to death in Hollywood at this point. Also, the acting in here is questionable at times. It could have been the script for sure, but damn, some of those takes needed another take. Jade was completely miscast. We got baldy, wokey ass girl here. Gay! Who was absolutely insufferable.
That.
And I did not like her every time she came on screen. I was like, I even like you, bitch. Get the f out of here. And she was actually more interested in waxing her bald head and being the woke queen, as this was complete DEI casting. They did even try to find someone who actually looks like Jade. And they pretty well got everybody else, but they just didn't try with Jade. Because they gotta bump up those numbers, guys, for their DEI casting. Even though the whole cast was pretty goddamn diverse. And when Jax decided to spare Baldy's life here, I was like, why? And then you realize, yep, he deserved his death for keeping this queen alive.
Fuck that.
And I was like, what a goddamn simp. For this chick, I could at least see it if Jade was very good looking, which she should be, but that chick looks like my nuts when I shave my balls. Her whole turning Kitana in and then helping the Earth folks is a great example of someone who doesn't know what the hell she's doing. And don't give me that shit, she changed and all that garbage. I don't want to hear it in the damn comments. That bitch needed to get the f out of there. Scorpion and Sub-Zero, even though I really like their characters, they were completely shoehorned in here for marketing purposes, only because I'm sure Johnny and Kano could have destroyed the amulet with sheer dumb luck. And you could tell this was all to get fans in seats, and that's it, instead of telling an engaging story. I wish we had more depth with Johnny Cage, even though they did with his B movies and such, and how he's kind of a forgotten actor. Or, you know, they could just strictly focus more on Kitana and showing it in the trailer instead of hiding it, you know? Why hide that fact, guys? Is it Warner Bros. A bunch of scared pussies to show people the truth because that would hurt their sales for their shit f***ing movie? F***ing pussy ass bitch! There was not a whole lot of depth to it besides Kitana's revenge story and Johnny Cage finding out that he's not just some useless actor anymore. That's basically it. That's basically the movie. It was really just a setup for Mortal Kombat 3 by the end, so they can go get their butt buddies so they can save more realms for Mortal Cum Shots times 3 back in action for more characters and loads of girl bosses. If I could say anything, I think leaving on a cliffhanger would have been dope as hell and could have been a bit longer instead of rushing the film to the finish line. And it felt like it could have been at least 20 minutes longer for forced jokes and more girl bossery in here. Cause you gotta have them queens! Right? Am I wrong? And the same thing goes for the first one as well. And if only they focus more on Scorpion and Sub-Zero like the first 10 minutes, I think these films could have been actually outstanding. They could have honestly toned down all the corniness in here.
Fuck that.
And it only really loses the plot when you have a bajillion characters to get through and you're trying to grasp their characters emotionally and then they get killed and it's not exactly great. So overall, this film is definitely a 5. It is not overly amazing by any means, but as a Mortal Kombat film, you know, it's solid for what it is. It's entertaining with a ton of corniness throughout the entire film. It's one of those films that it's like there's a lot of good things in here and then there's just a lot of bad things in here. Gay! That's why I'm kind of leaning it to a 5. It's not something I really want to go watch again. Might as well watch the 1995 version for the absolute corniness. So this shit's gotta go bye-bye, turn it off!
It's showtime. Fuck that.